Well, if you're looking at this video and I put up the header that I think I'm going to put up, then you know that the shit has hit the fan. Before we go on that, I did take my stereo in, and first we're going to show the video here. As you can see, actually before we show the video, maybe I should bring it up here because it'll make it a lot easier for me to describe what you're looking at. So I got to lower the volume on here. So as usual, I am not prepared for anything I'm doing here. But as you can see here, this is what my install looked like at first. Obviously, the cables were all laid out. He had told me he had no idea why he didn't put all the cables in like he was supposed to. I know why, because it took 9 hours to do the first install, and he probably, he was just tired and done. I mean, he worked from 9 to like 6 o'clock at night to get this system installed and ready and running. So the speakers were all over the place. So they looked pretty bad, and it was pretty awful, kind of laying out there. He had every intention of fixing it up, but this is your before view, obviously. Now you get to see an after view and beautiful reinstallation of all of the speaker wire. Everything looks beautiful. He did a great job. We were supposed to do an interview this day, but we kind of ran out of time because we ran into another issue. But as you can see, the wires are nicely folded in, even the big wires all hidden underneath. Everything looks beautiful. The system looks beautiful. All the wires are, I mean, he ties them down really nice. So he did a really nice job on this. And so the whole system is now ready as far as that's concerned. Now, as you know, the name of this thing, this video is Major Issue Has Run In. Well, I went in, I had him do the, oh god, my hair's a mess too. I had him redo the wiring, which is what we were going to do that day, and then we were going to do an interview. I also wanted him to do a little bit more tuning on the system because I had him change the tune a little in between when I didn't mention to you. And then I had him, I didn't like the new tune. It wasn't loud enough and so forth, so I wanted him to retune it, and he did. And it still needed a little bit more. My center wasn't quite in the center again. It was kind of off towards the center channel, which he had increased the power to. So he sits down, he hooks up his laptop, and he's typing away, moving all the things. And he says, what the hell? He sits there, and he first fooling around with it. It turns out my front tweeters are blown. Now, the kickers I put in are the CS series kickers. They should be able to handle up to 90 watts RMS. This system is 85 watts RMS. Of course, I play at very loud volumes. Now, he was pretty upset that the tweeters are blown because he said, look, I put a very easy slope on these tweeters, not pushing too much through them. And he was shocked that they were blown out. And I was none too happy. The front woofers are okay. As I told you, I've had some resonant issues with the rear speakers, mostly with the rear woofers. A weird rattle that comes out of them. We don't believe they're blown. We ran tones and everything through them. They seemed fine. But something weird. The shit has hit the fan because I've had enough of this crap. You know, these kind of speakers should be fine for the vast majority of people, although they're pretty expensive. Most speakers should be for the vast majority of people, but I listen at very high volumes. I never put it beyond its clipping range and so forth. And I can't have this happening. I've been working my ass off. I've been working almost a year trying to get this stereo up and running. I've got everything running. So we're going to go all out on the speakers. We're going to put Audison Legend speakers. I think they're also known as Hertz Legend speakers. Sorry, there goes my nose again. Always an allergy. So I'll go ahead and rub my face, get it done and over with. There we go. Done over. Now my whole face is red. We're going to be putting the Legends. The price are going to be pretty pricey. I talked to him about it. You know, he said he had a less expensive one, and he gave me a lower price. And I said, look me in the eye, and you tell me, what do you think really need to be in this car? And he says, you need to put the Legends in. I believe the Legends have an RMS power rating of about 130 watts, with a peak power of significantly higher than that. These kickers should not have blown. They're just not up to the task for exactly the amount of power and sound I'm putting through it. Plus, I'm running active. When you're running active, there's a lot less safeguards on your speakers. You're running the full amount directly in the speakers, and you're running in your tweeters. And if for some reason it's hit certain tones that your tweeters can't handle, apparently I did. He doesn't understand why. He said the slope and the rating settings that he did on those tweeters should never have blown those tweeters. So I'm going to be sending them back to Kicker and having them replaced. They'll probably just replace them. And I'm going to send the rear woofers also, just in case there's something going on with them. The front woofers are fine. The rear tweeters are fine. We're going to be putting in the Audison Legend speakers. Front woofers, front tweeters, and the rear are going to be coaxial, which means the woofer and tweeter are going to be a single unit with a tweeter in the center. He said the rears aren't as important because the rears are mostly being used as fill sound. Now, while they are all time-aligned, including the rear, he says there's no reason for the separation of the rear tweeters. And he said you might as well save the money on that and keep them together. He said the sound will be just fine. It'll be fantastic because the rear speakers will be filling the back of the sound. It's mostly the left and right tweeters and left and right woofers, along with a little bit of the center. I may have to replace the center. I'm using a kicker there, but he's not pushing much through the center anyway. He basically kind of pushed most of it into the tweeters and woofers of the main channels. Now these Audisons, oh my God, guys. If you ever see a video, like if you ever watch the news and you see a news that some crazy person with a Honda went on a gun shooting spree, screaming, "The speakers don't work! The speakers don't work!" then you'll know it's me, because this is driving me berserk. These new speakers are going to run me $1,600 installed. The installation isn't the money. The speakers are very expensive, and these are very high-end speakers.
What's the fucking cost?
That's the bitchin' part about it. It don't matter. If you can't afford it, fucking finance it!
This is not what you guys were signing for, but at least you get to see the craziness that I have to go through on this. I'll search around and see if I can get some pictures of them, show them up there. I think they're going to look just like the Hertz, because it's basically the same company. I'm going to have to put it on a credit card and pay it off, because that's a lot of money. I'm going to be in for over $4,000 on this system. I mean, it sounded great with the kickers. I can only imagine how much better they're going to sound with the Legends. And once the system is fully retuned, and he'll be dealing with speakers he's more knowledgeable on. Apparently, you know, the Audison's a very high-end amp. It's pushing a lot of power. 85 watts doesn't seem like a lot, but it is actually a lot of power, especially when it actually is 85 watts RMS. Not 85 watts, you put it on the bench, and it's pushing 60 watts if you're lucky half the time. So, I'm besides myself with incredible annoyance and sadness here. I'm gonna get speakers replaced. I think my other guy who did installation for me, he's gonna take one pair of the speakers, upgrade his, because he knows they're good speakers. They're not cut out for the system the way I have my system set up. So if you do ever do anything like time alignment, where you want to go active on all your speakers, you do run the risk of blowing tweeters a little bit more often. Usually if you're running through the pass-throughs, which are those little boxes, crossovers, there's a word. Usually you won't run into too many problems because the crossovers usually will cut out or protect the tweeters before they go. However, these tweeters just weren't up to the par. The rears were rattling for some reason. We don't know why. I got a second opinion on the rears to make sure that Adam wasn't freaking out on me and saying weird things. And another high-end installer listened to him, and he said it's a resonance issue of some kind. It doesn't know the speaker just can't handle a particular frequency without rattling. And that's just unacceptable. So I have to have good speakers. So the install was supposed to be Wednesday, but I'm waiting for my credit card to come so I can get the 15 months no interest, because I'm going to need the no interest in order to pay this thing off. Otherwise, heaven forbid, like I said, you'll see me out there with an Uzi chasing after any stereo installer I can find, screaming about how the speakers don't work, the amplifier's too loud, and I'm pulling my hair out. Yeah, I'm trying to be humorous about this. This is killing me in debt. I do apologize. I haven't put much videos out. My eyes look pretty red. I am very tired. I'm not sleeping very well. I'm having a lot of trouble right now sleeping. So my ability to make videos have kind of chilled at this moment until I can get my sleep in order. It's hard enough working. Also, I've been taking more shifts at work so I can pay for the speakers that I'm going to be putting in. He's still going to do the interview with us to explain a little bit more. One thing I did learn about is that he did kind of link the tweeters together. So even though while there's 9 channels, and the Audison only takes 8 channels in, 9 channels out, one of course going to a sub-amplifier to amplify the subwoofer, he actually, the center is on its own run. So it's running by itself on its own channel. And I think the tweeters were linked, especially for the rears, because the rears are filler. And while they still time align, but they're fill, so they were able to run on a run together on one channel. So I think like it's gonna be less channels. I'll try to get him to explain it. And I'm gonna try to get, like I said, he's more than happy to do the interview. And I got a few more things I want to do with this car. I have some ideas. I'm thinking about something like a Zen button. And we'll get into that later. So. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be happy about this. What I really want to do is go in there, grab my 9mm, and just chew on the tip of it for a little while because this is driving me berserk, guys. All right, I'm going to end this video. It's gotten a little too long. I wanted you guys to know what was going on. I will try to put up more information and more stuff as it progresses, okay? So that's it. Take care, and this is Verdier out again.